Hello friends, welcome to this topic losses in pre-stress. So we are dealing with a design of pre-stressed concrete elements. So what is this losses? Before that we should know the pre-stressed concrete members. So what is pre-stressed concrete members? Here a pre-compressive stress is induced in the member to counterbalance the stresses developed due to the external loads up to a desired degree. So here we are inducing a pre-compressive stress at the starting stage. So it is called transfer of pre-stress. Here what is the loss of pre-stress? We will study. The loss in pre-stress is the difference between initial pre-stress and the effective pre-stress. Initial pre-stress means the stress at the transfer, and effective pre-stress means that initial pre-stress is reduced due to various factors and it affects the strength of the member and the serviceability of the member. Serviceability includes stresses in concrete, cracking, camber and deflection. So types of losses. These losses are classified based on the time when it occurs. One is immediate losses and another is time dependent losses. In the immediate losses, it occurs during pre-stressing of tendons and transfer of pre-stress to concrete member. Means immediately after transferring the pre-stress, this losses occurs. Then time dependent losses. The time dependent losses are the losses which occurs during the lifespan of the structure. So we will study in deep in next slides. Then types of losses based on time of it occurs. First immediate and second time dependent. In immediate, elastic shortening, friction, anchorage slip. In time dependent losses, creep, shrinkage, relaxation. It is also classified based on the material since pre-stressed concrete structures or members consists of concrete and steel basically. So in concrete the losses occurs elastic shortening, creep, shrinkage, and in steel the losses occurs friction, anchorage slip, relaxation. So in the next slide, losses in various pre-stressing systems. So here already we have studied the classification of these various losses. Then here there are totally 6 losses we consider in the design. First one is elastic shortening. In pre-tension member, the elastic shortening is considered in case of post-tensioning if the cables are simultaneously tensioned, then there no loss due to elastic deformation will take place. If the wires are tensioned successively, means one by one, then the loss can be considered due to the elastic shortening. Then next, creep will occur in pre-tension member and post-tension member. Then shrinkage also occurs in the pre-tension member and post-tension member. Then relaxation of steel occurs in the pre-tension member, post-tension member. Then anchorage slip. Here anchorage slip and friction loss will occur only in the post-tensioned members. So one by one we will study. First, the elastic shortening of a concrete. So whenever a force is applied to on a body, the body gets deformed. Here also the same case. Here we are applying a pre-compressive force at the ends of the member is shown. Then due to this pre-compressive force, the member gets deformed. It is shown here. The member gets deformed due to this force. So this is called elastic deformation. So how to calculate the loss occurs due to this elastic deformation, and various things we should know in case of elastic shortening in the pre-tension member and post-tension member. We'll study first in pre-tension member. When the tendons are cut and the pre-stressing force is transferred to the member, concrete undergoes immediate shortening due to pre-stress. Then tendon also shortens by same amount, which leads to the loss of pre-stress. In case of post-tension member, if there is only one tendon, there is no loss because the applied pre-stress is recorded after the elastic shortening of the member. For more than one tendon, if the tendons are stretched sequentially, there is loss in pre-stress takes place. So how to calculate this loss? Since the pre-stressed concrete member, whenever the load applied at the ends or pre-compressive force applied at the ends, that members get deformed. With that, the steel also gets deformed. Then the strain in concrete will be equal to the strain in steel. So strain means stress divided by Young's modulus is strain. Then stress in steel divided by Young's modulus of steel, that is strain in the steel. Therefore, we can find Fs is equal to loss of pre-stress is equal to Es by Ec into Fc. That is loss of pre-stress. So Es by Ec is equal to modular ratio, that is denoted by alpha. Then Fc is the stress. Fc is the stress in concrete at the level of steel. Then for simplicity, the loss in all the tendons can be calculated based on the stress in concrete at the level of CGS. CGS means center of gravity of steel. Then this simplification cannot be used when tendons are stretched sequentially in a post-tensioned member. Next. So loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete. Here there is contraction due to drying of concrete and shrinkage strain occurs in the concrete. Shrinkage strain causes the steel to lose its stretch resulting in the loss of prestress. Here shrinkage means the reduction in its volume takes place of the concrete. So due to that, the stretch of tendon loses due to the shrinkage of concrete. So this can be calculated as the loss of prestress due to shrinkage is equal to Young's modulus of steel multiplied by the shrinkage strain of concrete, where the Young's modulus of pre-stressing steel and EC is the shrinkage strain in concrete. So next, as per IS 1343/1980, clause number 5.2.4.1, for pre-tensioning, the shrinkage strain is given by 0.0003, and for post-tensioning, the shrinkage strain can be obtained by using this formula 0.002 divided by log 10 into bracket T plus 2, where T age of concrete at transfer in days. Then next, loss of pre-stress due to creep. The creep is the time dependent deformation due to permanent force. In a pre-stressed concrete, pre-stress is the permanent force in the member causing compressive stress at the level of steel. Hence, there is creep strain in the member. Due to creep, the pre-stress in the tendons decreases with time. Here, the various factors affects the creep and shrinkage of concrete. Age of concrete, then applied stress level, density of concrete, cement content in concrete, water cement ratio, relative humidity, then temperature. Next, here in the absence of experimental data and detailed information on the effect of the variables, the ultimate creep strain may be estimated from the following values of creep coefficient. That is, creep coefficient is the ratio of ultimate creep strain to the elastic strain at the age of loading. So this is table showing the creep coefficient after 7 days 2.2, after 28 days 1.6, after 1 year the creep coefficient is 1.1. This is given in the IS 1343/1980 in clause number 5.2.5.1. So there are two methods to calculate the loss of pre-stress due to creep. One is ultimate creep strain method, second creep coefficient method. So ultimate creep strain, the loss of pre-stress can be calculated by simple formula. The shrinkage strain, the ultimate creep strain after sustained unit stress, then Fc is the stress in concrete at the level of steel, then Young's modulus of steel. And creep coefficient method, loss of pre-stress can be calculated by the simple formula pi into Fc into alpha. Here phi is the creep coefficient, Fc is the stress in the concrete at the level of steel, then alpha is the modular ratio. Then the magnitude of creep coefficient phi varies depending upon the humidity, concrete quality, duration of applied loading, and the age of concrete when loaded. The general values recommended for The creep coefficients vary from 1.5 for watery condition to 4 for dry condition with relative humidity of 35%. So next, relaxation of a steel. Here relaxation is the reduction in stress with time at constant strain. Here decrease in the stress is due to the fact that some of the initial elastic strain is transformed into inelastic strain under constant strain. Stress decreases according to the remaining elastic strain. Here the values are given in the IS 1343/1980. Initial stress, suppose 0.5 Fu. For that, the relaxation loss will be 0. If it is 0.6 into Fu, then relaxation loss will be taken as 35 Newton per m square. If it is 0.7 Fu, it is taken as 70 Newton per m square. If it is 0.8 Fu, the loss of relaxation stress will be taken as 90, where Fu is the characteristic strength of pre-stressing steel. These are the values given in IS 1343. So factors affecting the relaxation of a steel: time, initial stress, temperature, type of steel. Relaxation loss can be calculated according to the IS 1343/1980 code. So here, anchorage slip. This loss of pre-stress occurs in case of post-tensioned beam. This is the immediate loss whenever a tendon is stretched. Here the slip occurs in case of anchoring the tendon. Here, in most post-tensioning systems, when the tendon force is transferred from the jack to the anchoring ends, the friction wedges slips over a small distance. Anchorage block also moves before it settles on a concrete. Then loss of pre-stress is due to the consequent reduction in the length of the tendon. Then certain quantity of pre-stress is released due to this slip of wire through the anchorages. Then amount of slip depends on type of wedge and stress in the wire. Here the magnitude of slip can be known from the test from the patents of the anchorage systems. Loss of stress is caused by a definite total amount of shortening. Percentage loss in higher for shortened members. Due to setting of anchorage block, as the tendon shortens, there develops a reverse friction. Effect of anchorage slip is present up to a certain length called setting length, L set. Anchorage loss can be accounted for at the site by overextending the tendon during pre-stressing operation by the amount of draw in before anchoring. Then loss of pre-stress due to the slip can be calculated as P by A is the loss of pre-stress, then Young's modulus of steel into deformation delta divided by L. So Young's modulus of steel will be given or will be known to us. Span, L is the span, then delta is the deformation. Then we can easily calculate the loss of pre-stress due to the anchorage slip. Next is frictional loss. In case of post-tension member, tendons are housed in a duct or sheath. Inserting tendons in the duct is called housing the tendon. If the profile of cable is linear, the loss will be due to Straightening or stretching of the cable is called wobble effect. If the cable is curved, there will be loss in stress due to friction between tendon and the duct or between the tendon and tendons themselves. Then loss of pre-stress due to friction. Frictional loss occurs only in post-tension member when the cable is stressed. Friction between the cables and the duct and the cable does not permit full tension to be transmitted. Therefore, at a point away from the jacking end, pre-stress is less. Frictional loss is due to the length effect and curvature effect. Friction between the tendon and its surrounding material is the length effect and is sometimes described as wobbling effect. Then friction due to length effect depends on the length stress in the tendon and the coefficient of friction between the contact materials. Curvature effect is caused by the friction due to designed curvature of the cable. The loss due to this effect is estimated as follows. Here is the formula to calculate this loss. Here all the factors are considered. Px is the stress at a distance x. P naught is the initial pre-stress into e raised to minus mu into alpha plus kx. Here mu is the coefficient of friction between cable and duct. Alpha is the cumulative angle in radians through which the tangent to the cable's profile has turned between any 2 points under consideration. K is the friction coefficient. Then some of the values for steel moving on smooth concrete is 0.55. Steel moving on steel fixed to duct, the mu value is 0.35. For steel moving on lead, that is mu value is 0.25. The value of K ranges from 0.0015 per meter to 0.0050 per meter of length of tendon, depends on the type of tendon. This value will be given by the manufacturer of this tendon. Then how to calculate this? See here, a first figure shows a concrete beam with a parabolic tendon. It is stretched from one end. See here, you can see a jacking end, and another end is the plate is fixed. Then since the cable is parabolic, here the slope will be maximum at the ends. Let us consider it is a simply supported beams, so slope will be maximum at the ends. So how to calculate that slope and where the maximum force will occurs? You can see here P naught, the maximum force or initial pre-stress here, but here it goes on reducing at a distance x. The pre-stressing force or stress will be pre-stress will be px, and at the end it is a reduced pre-stress at a length L. Here how to calculate this alpha is very important. It is a cumulative angle, so we have to calculate here theta 1 and theta 2. So how to calculate that? So we have a formula for a equation for a parabolic curve, that is y is equal to 4ex by L square into L minus x. Okay, then what is the slope? Slope is dy by dx. So we have to differentiate this. So we'll get 4e by L square into L minus 2x. Suppose we are finding the slope at this point. Suppose we are finding the slope at the end where the jacking takes place. Then at x is equal to 0, then slope at that point will be 4e by L. Since x is 0, so 4e by L by L square. So alpha is the cumulative angle in radians through which the tangent to the cable profile has turned between any 2 points under consideration. So alpha is the cumulative angle. You can see here, this is alpha, means it is the summation of this theta 1 and theta 2. So we can calculate from this. So now in case of bent tendon, suppose the tendon is bent here, not parabolic tendon, then from the trigonometric functions we can find the slopes theta 1 and theta 2. So alpha will be theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, so here it is shown tan theta is equal to E by x dash. E we know, x dash also we know, so we can find theta 1 and also we can find theta 2. From this relation we can find. Okay, so we can from this we can find the loss of pre-stress due to friction. So we have simple formula for that. Here simple formula is that px is equal to p naught into E into minus mu into alpha plus kx. Okay,